Well, howdy, sugar. And I promise that's the last bad Southern accent you're going to get from me, Breakfast Clubbers. Welcome to another episode of the Breakfast Club. I'm your host, Kelly Guentner. This show is part of the Back of the Cereal Box podcast network. And this week, we are covering Mr. and Mrs. X, Love and Marriage. Mr. and Mrs. X is done by Kelly Thompson, which if you have watched any other episodes, you're probably getting sick of me covering Kelly Thompson. Sorry, not sorry. Episodes 1 through 5 are art by Oscar Bazaldua, and issue number 6 is art by David Lopez, and I definitely noticed a change in the art at the end of this collection. And then we have color artist Frank D'Armata in 1 through 5, letterers VCs and Joe Sabino in number 1 and 3 through 6. In issue number 6 is Nayoung Kim for color artist, and letterer is Travis Lanham for number 2. And the gloriously talented Terry Dodson and Rachel Dodson did the cover art, which also favorites of mine. So this has your trademark Kelly Thompson humor mixed with heart, mixed with just tons and tons of action. If you're a fan of Gambit and Rogue and that pairing, you're going to love this book. If you're not, I don't know why you would pick this book up, but, you know, you do you. X-fans might know that Professor Charles Xavier and the Shi'ar Empress Lilandra are both dead currently in the X-Men timeline. Of course, no one ever stays truly dead. There's a reason they're on the cover, and it's not that these characters are getting resurrected, at least most likely. Spoilers. But there is an interesting reason that they play into the story. So basically, the story starts with Rogue and Gambit getting married. Previously, where the X-Men soap opera saga left off, it was Kitty Pryde and Pyotr Rasputin were supposed to get married, but then they get to the altar and decided that no, they weren't going to do it. So Rogue and Gambit decided to take their wedding. And I have some questions about that. How do marriage licenses work for X-Men? Like, is the Xavier Mansion, which is now the Jean Grey School, do they issue their own marriage license? I don't know. I don't know if this is a legal marriage. That's all I'm saying. Legal marriage or not, though, they go on a honeymoon in space, as you do. And their honeymoon in space is not really your typical honeymoon in space where the bride and groom get to do typical honeymoon activities, unless typical honeymoon activities involve having to go up against some space pirates who are trying to steal a certain artifact, and they're the closest X-Men to that artifact, so they have to try to obtain the artifact and protect it. And a whole bunch of other wacky adventures ensue, including some run-ins with some familiar faces and the introduction of some interesting new characters. Just the art really gets the action just perfectly. Like, you just see these characters kicking butt together as husband and wife. That is a favorite trope of mine, is a couple that is crazy about each other and they both have their own butt-kicking abilities, and then they find a way to complement each other perfectly in battle. Like, sign me up. So I'm really looking forward to the next volume in this series. We have some nice little variant costumes here. Cosplayers all over, like, come on now. Variant costumes, like, look at those. Look at how pretty those are. I also saw those and I was like, really? Now I have to make another Rogue costume, because that is gorgeous. And just the art, so the art really captures the fun, frenetic style of the story. That's just like this two people in love romping around in space on their honeymoon and running into all sorts of adventures. So two members of a couple who both can kick butt in their own way and just kick butt together. this is going to be for you. And if you like Adventures in Space, and if you like X-Men in Space, it's going to be the book for you. If you like Kelly Thompson, which, if you're watching my show, I hope you like Kelly Thompson, because I think this is the third Kelly Thompson book I've covered, possibly the fourth. I can't promise it's going to be the last. Sorry, not sorry. Definitely recommend it. Also, if you were a fan of the 90s X-Men cartoon, you probably would enjoy this. I know that was my into X-Men. And the nice thing is, even though, so yes, I mentioned Charles Xavier and Lilandra are dead at this point in canon, and unlike I've mentioned before with X-Men books, some of them is hard to get into because of the history. This one you can pick it up even if you don't know what's happened in the past several decades with X-Men. You can pick it up and it gives you a nice easy entry point. So they kind of give you a nice summary for what you need to know, and everything else, if you know it, it's icing on the cake. If you don't, you can still enjoy the story. So thank you for watching. As always, I want to hear from you in the comments down there. Tell me what you're reading this week. Tell me what you're watching this week. Tell me what characters you're obsessed with, so I can maybe give you some recommendations, or give me some recommendations. I always want to know what you think I should be reading, because my reading list is super long, but it is not threatening to take over my room yet, so we can work on that. Definitely, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and thanks for watching. I hope you have a great week.